black rabbit. There's a black rabbit along here. I want to try and capture it in a picture. There's I've seen her the last couple of nights when I've passed. Well, when I've been out here at least. She seems quite domesticated. Well, that's why I was trying to approach without making any sound. Of course, that car came at the wrong time, but she's not been not moved. Just a young rabbit. Very shiny. They're still quite rare, black rabbits. And she knows I'm here. She's just a young one. Hi there. Good evening to you. She'll probably scamper now, Annie. She's just a young rabbit, Andrew. Anyway, that was why I was a stealth mission, because I passed it coming this way. This is the 10th of July 26, and I've just been home to upload, well, at least upload the stuff onto the computer, then I'll do an edit for what I was working on earlier. So we're out here at the Hosh, just parts of the Glenturret that's still in there. I thought I'll take a dander. I didn't bring my staff. There's a change of weather, and but it's nice at this time of the evening. It's 20 minutes to 8, Andy. Less than 2.5 hours till sunset. But, the wind's changed to the north. Just a light breeze, but it's enough to cool things down a wee bit for you. So I've been talking this afternoon in the garden about this persistence by the European media and weather stations to completely bombard you with this stuff about hot weather, and it is very, very tiresome. So I'm trying to make the point that you know, it's so hot, it's like, does it really matter that much what temperature it is? Issuing all these warnings and stuff. I've gone through this over and over on my channel about people have to take responsibility for themselves, and if they're grown adults and they can't manage what to do in a hot day, then they're a bit of a lost cause, in my opinion. And you know, people say, oh, there's elderly people suffering the heat. Elderly people were once young themselves, so they know what to do. Elderly people are more likely to have experienced it in the past, because it's not unusual, not uncommon at all. Anyone who takes time to go to the local library and research weather data, even for the last 100 years, will discover that anything that we experience just now is not uncommon. And again, the weather's starting to cool down in Scotland after 48 hours to 72 hours of heat. It's been wonderful for 3 days, but that's all we got. 3 days. 3 days in June and 3 days in May. We've had some pleasant sunny days right enough, and it's not been too bad, but what I mean is summer used to go on endlessly, weeks and weeks of hot weather. And I can give you all the different years that I remember them. Because the hot sunny days in it's easier to remember a hot sunny day than it is to recall foul, dull weather at any time of year. Although I can still remember wet days and when they came along, because there was something associated with that particular day, whether it was work or competition at athletics or whatever it was always, you can always connect with something. So anyway, I'm wandering around. The sweet Sicily's had it for another year, Andy. The bracken takes over, and there's that hemlock, and the nettles sprouting high, and we should be able to get some feed off these nettles quite shortly, actually. So this is very potent stuff, the nettle seeds. If you want to have a boost during the winter months, then gather as much of this. Wait until they turn a bit silvery before you do so. It's a very time consuming task, and you will get stung even if you bother to put gloves on, because gloves means you can't really pick them properly. Anyone in my vlogs will realise this is quite a familiar route of mine, because it's been a familiar walkway for me since I was a child, and because of the land management nowadays, this is not managed quite as well as it once was, hence why the hawthorn is sprouting in all different directions. We've got elder shooting up there, and the beech is looking a bit straggly at points. Although it is only July, they'll probably get trimmed back at some point, perhaps in August, the end of August or something. You can hear that damn noise from the distillery, and as I say, that's something that never occurred out here. It was perfect peace out in this direction. That is just a bloody din in the background, and this is why I take myself all the way up to Crieff. Despite the extra fuel costs, it's worth it, because there's not a sound up there apart from the occasional oyster catcher and curlew. The river's approaching any, so we should be fine down here. But I'm going back to this subject about the weather. I'm just tired and exhausted. I mean, this stuff about the fatalities in Spain, about the wildfires, well, they don't know if it's wildfires. It could be arsonists. It was proven in previous years that there was arsonists working in Europe, and even if it's not arsonists, wildfires, well, by the very nature of the name wildfire, it means it's part of nature's cycle. Nature, I mean, you get fires anywhere. Even in Scotland, moorland fires or forest fires, and all it needs is a strike of lightning or something, and that's enough to get it going. Generally, it's a man thing, you know. It's usually a discarded cigarette or a campfire or something that's not been properly extinguished, but you get the drift. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised that that's probably how they discovered fire in the Stone Age times. Some observant gentleman probably saw the lightning hit the ground and set fire to it, and said, well, can I reciprocate that in some form if I bash two stones together, for example? And he succeeded. People don't understand that the reason that this is all happening is because they created a multi-billion dollar, multi-trillion dollar business from it. Al Gore, the vice president in the USA under Reagan, I think it was, back in the 80s, or was it Bush? No, I think it was under Reagan, made that announcement about, and it's them that started it, and since then it's grown arms and legs, and and now it's become it's all part of the woke agenda, and it's all the worst lot is the socialists and the Greens, you know. Well, the Greens are socialist party, aren't they? But it's just because it becomes so much to bear. And I saw something about the people down in Bordeaux in France living in accommodation. The temperature's up to 38, 39 degrees Celsius apparently, which again is not uncommon. But the new thing is that they don't have like in France, like most European countries in the Mediterranean at least, they have shutters in the windows. And so when the hot sunshine of high summer, the windows can be closed and the outer shutters can be pulled and blocks out the sunlight if need be. But what they're complaining about is because air conditioning is part of the net zero thing, and they removed the air conditioning from most modern buildings completely, these people are living in bloody glass houses, like greenhouses, and they're getting cooked alive. And it doesn't take much, imagination to consider why it's all been done, you know. This sycamore has extended quite a bit this summer, hasn't it? You can hardly see the water, Andy. Yes, he's definitely stretched his wings. The shaggy brig. This has been replaced, Andrew. It's either been replaced or it's been sanded, but it looks very much like... No, it's not been replaced. It's just the light on it, Andy. And it's been bleached by the sun, I think. Although it looks like it's been sanded, doesn't it? But no, it's not been replaced. Yeah, I mean, if you go to the Middle East, Iran and Iraq and stuff, I mean, these people have got very, very narrow streets, purposely built so that they can gather in these streets, and they're not in the full sun. And many parts of Europe, including Malta, got very narrow streets for that purpose as well, with high buildings. But the modern buildings are hopeless. And even in Scotland, where they built I'm talking about traditionally stone-built houses, they're very cool inside during the summer months, and in the winter they keep you warm. But this, I don't know when it all started, Andy, I'm not sure, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but somehow all these architects switched over to this new fangled way of thinking that we must live in big glass houses with, so that everyone from the street could fucking gaze in your house. And no curtains, and no carpets on your floor, just bloody cheap wood. And horrible houses. On the west edge of Bertha, I think I was thinking about this last night, that those houses in the west edge of Bertha, facing onto Huntington area, horrible looking boxes, and I just thought with the full sun belting against those properties, it must have been like torture the last few days. Well, serves them right really in a malicious way for buying such a shithole type of house. Yeah, the Spanish chestnut's not in such a good mood tonight, Andy. Well, I'll tell you why, Andrew, because you used foul language there, which is not necessary. I suppose. Well, what I was trying to say is that if I stepped into a house and a showroom and I looked around and saw, well, this is completely crap, I might say to the person I was talking to, What about in the summer? What sort of temperatures can we expect on a sunny day? Oh, it's and then there'll be loss for words. Oh, right, we don't have any air conditioning. You can't open the windows either. I thought the horses would have been here, Andrew. Where are they? Usually the horses are in this field, but heck knows where they are. So most people know this little trackway. I've taken you up in all seasons. I don't think I've brought you up here in the snow, but it's a delightful little trail. Best in spring, I have to say, best in spring. Lots of places are best in spring. Yeah, so for the want of repeating myself again, what they're suggesting is if it's unbearable to have 36 degrees Celsius in London, well, let's ban them from travelling to all countries in Africa, all countries in Asia, like India, or Southeast Asia, like Thailand and Vietnam and Malaysia. You never hear the Malaysians moaning about the temperatures, do you? Or the Thai people. Or the people in Burma or Vietnam. But, so we banned them from all these countries. Anywhere, even the Caribbean, the southern states of the USA, Mexico, Honduras, big chunks of South America, Belize and everything. The only country you can visit from now on will be Iceland. It's getting to that stage, Andy, it really is. And that Alec Deakin, that weatherman, he needs to be bloody locked up. He needs to be sectioned, because that's not normal behaviour. Anytime I've tuned in to listen to that man when it's sort of extreme weather, I don't know how he sleeps at night with these lies. So you can see it gets me down, and there's a huge swathe of people who now believe it. The same sort of people that were very quick to, jump down to the centre to get the jab during the early part of the 2020s. You'd think they would have learned from that experience that they can't trust what's going on, but they don't seem. They don't have any IQ, and I suspect they sit there day after day watching breakfast television. The worst thing you could ever do. I think even if I had watched breakfast television, I would have taken the jab. A frightful programme, that. News stuff, 6 in the morning, you wake up, turn that shite on, and you're told you've got high cholesterol, you need to take some medication for that. Did you know you've got high blood pressure? More medication. Did you know you've got this? There's chances of this or that, and the list is endless. And I remember from a brief glimpse at that breakfast television stuff years and years ago. I thought anyone who watches this shite is going to end up being brainwashed and ill, very ill, which is what they want, of course, because the iller, the more ill you are, well, the more money they can make from you. And this is why I'm a great advocate of the natural health service. Yeah, it's not the national but the natural health service, which I find in all woodland areas, foraging for all the right stuff in season when I need it. I'm never greedy. Meadowsweet's is in full bloom just now. In the next 10 days I would suggest you go out and harvest some of that stuff. And if you want to have it for your, here we go Andy, we've got this way for you. If you want it just for a potpourri, then fine. Or if you want a medicinal value from it, then just put it in the oven, door open, let the florets dry out, and that's your anodyne, your aspirin. And a little teaspoon I take maybe once every 3 months if I've got an upset tummy or a sore head. And a sore head meaning one that requires a stress kind of sore head, and I might just reach out for the medicine, but very rarely do I do it. So hence I don't really need to pick any, because I've got enough stored away, as I have with most of my stuff that I keep, because it lasts for years if it's properly dried out, you see. Hello there, it's nice to see you. I've not seen you for a wee while actually. Do you remember when I was about 9-year-old I used to come and say hello? Yep, you remember me? Of course the tree will remember you. The tree's got a fabulous memory, you know that. It will, it's like animals, they pick up your scent. And the tree likewise. From all these years that tree says, oh, it is you. Yeah. Although I have spoken to that chestnut in the interim. That's a horse chestnut, that's not Spanish chestnut. Yeah, he's a fine old fellow. It's funny, I've been walking these tracks for over 50 bloody years, you know that? Over 50, over 55 years, Andy. And there is a familiar today as well when I was a little nipper. Yep. Oh, I've got my tobacco. I'm glad I brought it with me. I'm going to have a little smoke somewhere. I think we'll go and sit somewhere and ignite a little puffy. See, this is the thing as well. If it's baking hot during the day, get yourself into the forest. That's what the leaves are. The canopy of leaves is for. It's to break you from the hot sunshine on a hot day. Even the people that work the land would take a break in the midday sun and you know, brew some tea or something underneath an old tree. I don't know, the whole nation's gone completely down the drain. It really is quite sad, because it's not just happened in my lifetime, but it's like it's the generation of storytelling from you know, great granny to granny to myself and that, so I can recall what it was like for them when they were growing up, and it seemed to be a very idyllic life. And I thought I had it pretty good. Well, I mean, the generation that I grew up in, Generation X, not so lucky. And the ones thereafter, well, they don't really know. The bloody the snowflake lot, they've been totally brainwashed, and any of the bright sparks who challenge it are considered an oddity. Something wrong with you. I notice on the comments, although I'm banned from that Have Your Say on BBC news sites, I notice the comments are more and more, they look like they've been manufactured purposely by BBC employees. It just, some of them have come up there too quick, and it's too obvious for me. And anyone who challenges it in one of their comments, they're immediately shut down by dozens of other comments. Oh, you can't be right in the head, sort of thing, you know. Because I was chopped off that during lockdown for telling the truth. I have blots from Scottish televisions. Well, I was basically devalued during the lockdown era for making my opinions clear, and I feel vindicated as well, because everything I thought about was true. Come on, we'll get a cigarette, Andy. Let's find a nice spot. Yeah. Not very sure where that water is coming from. Because the Knock is full of natural springs and wells. I think I mentioned this not so long ago, but there seems to be quite a lot of water for a recent dry spell. So I think it must be coming from the horse's trough. Maybe somebody forgot to turn off something. No entry. Well, I think I'll decide where I go, not you. We'll zip up there and see if we've still got a bench up here. So the landscape's it's turning quite quickly in the last few days, actually, Andy. I didn't do any hill walking because, well, I would come back with my face melted, completely wrinkled and melted from that sunshine. Not good for anyone to be on the high hills, and also eye damage can be quite severe in strong sunlight. Hence why you need the Polaroids, proper Polaroids, not just cheap sunglasses or shades, to be fucking cool. I don't like the word shades. I don't like any sort of colloquial language. I don't like any slang. I don't like things that are not properly the way they're meant to be, you know. I think I mentioned before, calling somebody a tea leaf. Well, I get it, but what's the fucking point? A tea leaf, a thief. It's easier to say thief. So I'll get up here, Andy. Crikey. Well, I remember the days used to run all over the bloody place, and it was coming up there, you know, further along under, and I had this panting behind me. What the fuck's that? And I turned around, it was a Doberman. No, it wasn't a Doberman, it was a Rottweiler, sorry. It was a bloody great big brute of a dog. It was a Rottweiler. And I absolutely sprinted. I don't know how I done it. It was just sheer adrenaline, and I ran right up to the pathway at the top of the Hydro Golf Course. The dog could not catch me. And I say thank goodness for that, because I think it would have eaten my arse. Yep. I'm sure it would have. So they've removed the benches. So can you imagine them spending all this money on a golf course here? And look at it now. Yeah, it's a bit of stupidity that end, isn't it? So that's my estate boundary over there. I can't believe they got rid of all the beautiful benches. Oh well. I'll go with the signage. I'll take a stop there. So this is a location for their clay pigeon shooting, which caused a bit of fuss across the whole valley. I'm not sure how that progressed in the council, if it got chucked out or not, but planning permission was sought by Crieff Hydro to rattle off clay pigeon shooting. Although they've done it at the sand quarry down that way for years and then without any problems, I think they wanted to introduce it in the weekends as well, and I think everyone kicked up a fuss because they would hear it all the way past to Fulford and probably all the way back to Loughlin. Constant gunfire like bloody Beirut. And through the forest over there, well, you can't get through now, is the public right of way to Manee, which has been blocked off. The last time I walked it was in 1986. No, I walked it once after that, Andy. I walked it in the last 10 years, but in '86 I walked it, and the estate got away with it, and it had been fought even right to the Houses of Parliament in previous years, and every time they put a fence up, the men from Crieff would come up and cut it down, chop the fence down. And nothing could be done about it because it was right away. And it went on for years and years, and just like everything in this day and age, there's not enough numbers that are knowledgeable or observant enough to do anything about it. I went to Rights of Way Society, but they said that Perth and Kinross Council in 1990 had wiped the slate clean with many right-of-ways in Perth and Kinross, and Perthshire as a whole. She said you'll find that lots of them have disappeared completely. So that can't be right. So you can pursue it through the courts, but you won't get any joy with the council. In fact, the estate over there, when they suggested that I submit my declaration of what would you call it? What's the word, Danny? Well, I didn't want the clay pigeon shooting to go ahead. The word will come to me in a minute. Well, I felt like turning around and saying, well, if you had the right of way in operation, they wouldn't even been able to consider getting a clay pigeon shooting in that direction. They wouldn't be allowed to shoot over people's heads. Yeah. Objection, that was the word I was looking for. Planning objection to it, but I didn't do anything with it. It's a grand part of the world, Annie. I will say the milk thistle and everything is a bit earlier this year. 10 days into July. There are some subtle changes I notice in the countryside with a lot of grasses that have gone back early this year. Now the problem with that is if everything goes back early, unless it's all cut, they won't sprout again. So this means it will feel like early start to the autumn in some respects. When it comes round, which won't be long. A nice cigarette, Annie. Yes, it is most enjoyable. I found this little wooden structure to rest my weary buttocks upon. Yes. If it had been that girl from B&M who bought all these bloody crunches and Maltesers and goodness knows what else, £54, £12 worth, no, I don't think this structure would have supported her. I think the whole thing would have caved in and bloody she'd be on the ground and crying for help. You alright? You alright? No, I've lost my bloody Milky Way. Right, let's get this finished, Andy. So you can check it from me, it's a perfectly peaceful night out this way. And as I said already, the breeze has picked up a wee bit. But it's nothing. It's just very refreshing when it's like that. If you're camping, that's what you want. Keep the midges away on a July night. Alright, we'll retreat and we'll turn left at Lovers Walk. Lovers Walk, Annie. Lovers Walk. My granny called it Lovers Walk because she didn't want to tell me it was called Lovers Walk. I always remember that when I was a 4 or 5 year old. Where are we going, Granny? We're going along Lovers Walk. And it's stuck in my brain for years. And then my dad says to me, it's not Lovers Walk, Andrew, it's Lovers Walk. Ah, I says, Granny, you've been telling fibs. She says, well, she didn't want you to know things when you were too young. Because you'd ask questions, what's a lover? I didn't find the water source, but that's probably coming from that Action Glen. Somebody's left a tap on somewhere. It's not my business. So this was my uphill run. I used to run along the Cormy Road and along the Lovers Walk and up this way and right over the top of the knock and up onto the upper knock. I used to run a lot of distances and a lot of gradient and I didn't hang around. I do miss it. I miss it immensely. It's still part of my DNA. I think about it often. But I prefer my hill walking these days, and as I said earlier, there's times for hill walking, times for rest, and I wanted to get on with some things around the house and garden the last couple of days, and I thoroughly enjoyed doing that. And even simple things, I don't mind, like washing your shower curtain on a boil wash and get that hanged out in the baking hot sunshine. nothing better. And all the woolen jumpers, everything that's woolen was washed, and some garden clearance, and washing net curtains and stuff, because you get that bright roasting hot sunshine, and it just completely bleaches the white net curtain, well, the net screening, which I have in my bedroom. I don't have any Venetian blinds in my bedroom, because if I closed them I'd never bloody awaken in the winter. Right, Andy, let's turn off for a little minute and pick up a conversation. Yeah, that's what it is, Andy. The water source for the horses down in the field, it must have been disturbed or something further up the hill, and it's come loose and sent the water in a different direction. I hope the horses are not thirsty in this hot weather. I hope the stable girls have been out to visit them. They're usually there. You hear that Glenturret distillery noise again? It's almost as bad as what do you call it, Andy? The noise in your garden. Well, not your garden, but from surrounding properties all summer long. It's been a nice walk, this one, actually. I miss my wee staff though. I would have taken a smaller one, but I just thought I'd show that I can still walk without the staff. You don't need much in a walk, stretch the legs for an hour or something. That's all you need, and you know, I go for hours and hours and stuff. Like, I get told off for it to go away for huge distances, but I enjoy it, and I also enjoy these little danders. Remember that shortcut's out of bounds. You always go the long way. There's the horses over there, Andrew. I thought they'd be there. Just two of them. Yeah, perfect time, Andy. You're just about out of footage anyway. You can't delete any more tonight. Oops. Oh well. So we shall leave it at that, shall we? Yes, thanks for joining me in this walk. And I like Timon just as much as Alex Deacon. The bloody crazy fucking weather, man. Oh. He's got a job to do, but he needs to calm down a wee bit. Yeah. I think he's the worst, yeah. Yeah, he is. He's a knowledgeable man. I'm not saying he's not decent at what the job that he does, but I'm just saying that his delivery of forecast, I prefer, is it Jack Scott? Back in the 70s, he was a real gentleman with a very reassuring voice, and he was always sticking with the wind direction, the speed and the arrow, you know, from the correct direction, and the isobars would all be sitting. You could study the isobars and see which way the low pressure was heading, and low pressure anti-clockwise, high pressure clockwise. You know, I'm grateful to Jack Scott. I can't remember if his name is Jack Scott or Jack Frost, No, come on Andy, it was Jack Scott. Thanks for watching. Bye bye now.